Hey everyone, Cable the Antique Book Collective, and today I'm getting to you guys with basically a great little crash course on how to buy and sell kids' books on eBay. So guys, I have a little stack of kids' books right here, and I just want to preface things with, this is not what I personally specialize in my eBay business, so I am by no means the absolute expert in all this, but I do have some things that I've picked up from doing it myself, and that I've picked up from other people that buy and sell these books. Some channel that I would highly recommend a lot of you guys check out if you would like some more information is the Back from Burnout channel. That's run by Mel. She's from Australia. She's a mom. She has a lot of good information about how she sells her business. Sells her books in her business. She goes over a whole lot of great info just like on the life of doing the business, all that sort of stuff. So I highly recommend you guys check out her channel. But with that said, I'm going to dive right on in with this stack of books right here and really get into things with you guys. So guys, first major tip that I have to share with you, I've gone over with other videos in my channel. I actually just recently did a video on going to Friends Library sales to get these books. So obviously that's the first tip. Go to the Friends Library sales to get these books, guys. You can get the best deals out there. You can also go to estate sales, all these sorts of other places too. There's a ton and a half of places that you can go to source these books, get some really good deals. But those are I'd say the best two for finding kids' books is estate sales and Friends of the Library sales. Personally, I like to go to Goodwill Outlet to find a lot of other things, but the pricing at Goodwill Outlet, it's just not competitive enough for me to sell a lot of kids' books. I can do other things that I get at Goodwill Outlet. Kids' books, oh, not so much. With that said though, guys, another big tip, this is really the money maker, I'd say, for the tips that I'm giving you guys today, is don't just buy a whole bunch of random books and hope they all sell. Don't just list them all individually and hope they sell. That's not always going to be your best case. So let's say you grab a whole bunch of random books right here. Well, here's a book that goes with this book. In fact, they are the same book, so I mean that's sort of cheating. But when you guys are doing this, try to find sets or lots of similar books that you guys could sell. So for instance, these are two copies of Tarzan of the Apes, but let's just pretend that this is Tarzan book 1 and this is Tarzan book 2. People love buying lots of books or sets of books where you're getting a whole series or at least similar books. So guys, let's pretend these are two different Tarzan books. Next up, we have, this is the Sizeosaurus. So this book, guys, it's literally just talking about the size of different animals and whatnot, and it's talking about measurements and all these sorts of things. It's a really cool, oh, I just really flopped that around. It's a really cool book, though, for just like teaching kids some fun little things about the world. I'm sure a lot of us know, or at least maybe we were, in my case I was, one of the nerdy kids that just like learning stuff, and I still love learning stuff, so I'm still that nerdy kid, but let's say for this book you find the Sizeosaurus, but then you find like some cool encyclopedia books or something like that that are made for kids. People make lots of those encyclopedia sets, so you can find some of those. You can have just a whole bunch of like fun little learning books for kids. Sell that as a lot of books, and you can probably walk away with a whole lot more money selling 5 books than you would just selling them all off one at a time and hoping they sell, because let's face it, some of the books that you try to sell in your store, you end up sitting on for a few years. For me, guys, I have some books that I've been sitting on for almost 5 years now, because I've been doing this business for almost 5 years, or maybe just over 5 years. I don't really know. Don't really keep track. There's just so much to keep track of. With that said though, guys, on to the next one. Dr. Seuss books. You can totally make some really good money selling individual Dr. Seuss books. I'm not gonna say you can't, but if you sell lots of kids books that are Dr. Seuss books, I find those sell a whole lot better, a whole lot easier. I actually had some really beautiful canvas ones, guys. They were still sealed in their plastic. It was a fun little box set of canvas Dr. Seuss books. Beautiful ones. I mean, I honestly wanted to keep them, but I sold that because it was a set of books. Sold it for some really good money, and it was, again, just such a beautiful set. I still sort of am jealous of the guy that got them off of me. But for the case of this one, I mean, don't just sell one little Dr. Seuss book, and I know this one's a little bit ratty, but don't just sell one. Try to sell at least like 5, let's say, and someone's going to pick up those 5 books a whole lot faster than someone would be interested in just buying an individual one. Next up, though, so let's face it, Dr. Seuss books, they may all be similar, but they're not necessarily a set. This right here, though, is an actual set of books. So these are the Nelson Doubleday, I think it's the Best In series. If you look up Best In Nelson Doubleday kids books or something like that, it'll pop up. I don't really have much. Here we go. Best In Children's Books. There we go, right there. That's what they call it. I knew I'd get it eventually, but guys, sets like this also can sell pretty stinking well. They can be worth a good chunk of money. I mean, you could sell 1 or 2 of them and make like 10 cents each on it, or you could sell the lot of them and make, say, $10 profit, something along those lines. Obviously, it's going to vary. Your mileage may vary on these tips, but those are the two huge tips that I have for you guys for selling. For me personally, I find selling on eBay is a whole lot better than selling on Amazon when you're selling lots of books like this, namely because Amazon doesn't really have a way for you to sell lots of books. And by lots, I don't mean like whole lot of books. I mean, when you're selling, a lot of people will call 5 different books. If it's not a set, they'll call it a lot. So that's what I mean by a lot. But I don't obviously have a way to sell lots of books on Amazon because Amazon has all these different rules. They want you to sell things individually by their title, by their ISBN, all that sorts of stuff. They don't want you to sell lots of books. So that's why I sell on eBay with all those sorts of things. Additionally, I know the Used Book Guy, that's another channel that I recommend you guys check out, but I know Mike at the Used Book Guy, I know he's not going to like me saying this, but I don't like Amazon. I like eBay a whole lot more. The fees are just a lot more appropriate. I don't mind storing the books myself. I don't mind shipping them out myself. In fact, I sort of enjoy it. I especially enjoy having like shelves like this one right here and having all these beautiful books just within arm's reach as I'm doing all my work throughout the day. It's just a whole lot more fun than just shipping it off to an FBA fulfillment store and waiting and waiting and waiting and hoping that it sells, or else I have to pay Amazon $500 million for storage fees. That's just sort of my thing. At Amazon FBA, it's just so much money. Of course, that's not to say that I don't think I'd eventually get back into it. Maybe, but for me right now, I just really enjoy the eBay side of things so much more. It's just so much more fulfilling for me because I love the antique books, and you can't even sell Amazon books that are antiques because, again, Amazon makes things a little bit difficult. You can make your own UPC, you can put in all the info on Amazon, but it's a lot more complex than what you just need to do for listing it on eBay if you're going that course. For me, again, guys, for me, I'm an antique bookseller. As you guys probably could tell from my channel name, Antique Book Collective. Antique books are sort of my thing. As you can see from the books back here, antique books, sort of my thing. So guys, obviously, if you guys are going to follow my channel, and please do, I mean, if you are interested in this sort of stuff, please do. I would love to help you guys throughout this whole business thing. I mean, it's sort of my thing. That's why I made the channel, is to teach people this sort of stuff. But if you guys follow my channel, though, you'll know that I don't really love selling all the other things. Like, I do sell lots of children's books. So in the case of the ones that I have here, these ones, it doesn't say an actual year, but looking at them, I'd say, I don't know, 1950s-ish. The Dr. Seuss one that I showed is from the 1960s. The Tarzan's ones are from the 1960s. The Sizosaurus one, that one's a new book for me. Ooh, but I don't really enjoy selling the new books. I mean, it's just like they're a dime a dozen, and obviously they don't charge a dime. They charge a lot more, but you know, they're pretty stinking common. But for me, selling these antique books, I was like, oh wow, I actually found this book from 1824. I found this one from 1700, da-da-da-da-da, some random year. It's really cool doing that sort of stuff. I mean, I really enjoy it. It's fun saving the history. It's fun. For me, I enjoy finding these ratty books that were going to get thrown in the dumpster and actually breathing some new life into them. That's something I enjoy. So that's one of the reasons why I do the eBay side of things. Additionally, is because I do antique books. Amazon's not the place for doing antique books. eBay is. Of course, eBay may not be the best antique place to sell books ever, but it's the place that I have found has done very well for me. I know plenty of other people that sell antique books on eBay, so that's just something for me personally. Of course, there are plenty of ways that you guys can sell your children's books, on Amazon and make some really good money. Obviously, you're not going to have every single book that you buy that's a children's book do really well on Amazon, so personally, if I was doing this business as just a children's book side of things, I would... None of those books actually have ISBN numbers. Forgive me as I grab a random book over here. Alright, random book right here. It's a cooking book. I have cookbooks right over here. Something I would do, though, if I was selling these books and wanting to do it on Amazon and eBay, which is how I would recommend, honestly, you guys, if you have a book business, I would recommend doing both if you are doing newer books. But I would get the books that you can scan the ISBN number and scan it. If it's worth sending to Amazon, I'd send it to Amazon. If it's not worth sending to Amazon, I'd set them in different stacks, different boxes, that sort of stuff. Be like, okay, so this is a children's book about animals. Put it in the children's books about animals little box right over there. And if I have one about pirates, I'd have a pirates children's book spot. And I do that. I would set these books aside. This is what I personally did when I was doing my business with Amazon and with eBay. But I'd have this giant thing. It's basically a death pile of ones that I will eventually make a set of children's books that I will sell on eBay. So eventually you get like 5 books or something like that that are about pirates, about animals, that sort of stuff. Grab those, make them a lot, and then just list them on eBay. Take some books that otherwise you would have thrown away, or otherwise you would have just given away to someone, and it makes it so you can actually sell it. Instead of being worth nothing, you could sell it for like $10, $15. And again, odds are you were considering throwing these books away, at least if you've been doing this business long enough and you know how terrible a death pile can be. But you are breathing some extra life into these books, you are making some money off of it, and it's making your time a little bit more worthwhile, because you're not just taking a whole bunch of bum inventory, you are taking this bum inventory and making it actually worth something. Something I've mentioned before, the Back from Burnout lady, Mel from Australia, I recommend, again, check out her channel, but something that she does that I think is incredibly smart is she actually takes her lots of books that she does. So, for instance, grabbing this set again, she will take these books, and when she lists them, she'll write the little info that she needs to. I do my stuff on sticky notes, but then she saran wraps it all together so it actually stays together. I'm like, that's a really smart move. I would do that, except I just don't like having plastic touching the books, because I have dealt with enough antique books that when plastic's on them and the plastic ages, oh, it just ruins them. So I'm a little gun shy of putting plastic on stuff. Totally works for her. Totally, like with saran wrap nowadays, it's definitely a lot safer than some of the plastic they did back then with all the random like PVC and whatnot that they put in stuff, and it just does not age well. But that's not really the point of this video. We all know I could go on and on about a whole 100 different tangents. Not the point of this video. Get back to business, Caleb. But with that said, though, back to the children's book sort of things. There are a lot of different ways that you guys can run this business. You can do the Amazon eBay hybrid. I would recommend doing that if you guys are actually serious about doing this. However, if you're a little bit tighter of a budget, that sort of thing, it could be worth just doing eBay or just doing Amazon. Personally, I recommend eBay, because eBay actually, when you sell a book, you can get your money right quick. Amazon, if you're brand new to it, they actually hold on to your money for the first few months, which, let's face it, you're starting a business, you need that money back pretty stinking fast. So that's why, again, I recommend eBay to so many people. But with that said and done, though, guys, hope this video was helpful. I hope that my few little tangents weren't too much for you guys. If you guys would like to learn more about book selling in general on eBay, I do mention some stuff on Amazon, but I mostly go over antique book sort of stuff, because that's sort of the channel name. But if you guys want to learn more about that, please be sure to subscribe. You can do it down there. I think there's a button right there, and in fact, there's going to be a button right there in a little bit. But if you guys do want to learn more about it, please be sure to subscribe. If you found this if you found this video helpful, guys, please be sure to comment. Let me know what you guys thought. Be sure to drop a like. And additionally, guys, if you would like to learn more about the subject, besides just subscribing right there, hint, hint, you guys can also check out one of my other videos right there. With that said and done, though, guys, thank you for watching. I hope it was helpful again, and I'll see you guys in the next one.